Hey guys, so the next exercise I have to help you to isolate the glutes, build awareness in the glutes and activate them, because as I mentioned often, we don't actually activate our glutes in a lot of exercises. For example, in squats, often we're utilizing more of the leg muscles than we are of the glute activation, and that's why when you do like the 30-day squat challenge, you end up with bigger legs, stronger legs, and not so much results on your booty. So one of the things that people often talk about now is pre-activation exercises. So a lot of times our muscles run into dormant states and where they don't know how to activate. And I've seen this a lot with people I train. When I'm trying to activate their core muscles, even in a plank, it's not activating. It's using all the surrounding muscles, the lower back, the shoulders, the legs to hold them in place, and their core is not activating. So we need to go back to foundational movements to reactivate them, and that can come from pregnancy, it could come from a hernia, it could come from just daily sedentary life. So pre-activation exercises, if you really want to start using compound exercises such as squats and even burpees, which will use your glutes if you know how to activate them. So just an example of a pre-activation exercise would be coming down into your bridge and doing some bridge work, making sure that your glutes are switched on and not loose here. This will activate it, so when you start to come into your squat or another exercise that utilizes also your legs, you're going to get the activation work. Now with squats, just to note, when you're doing your squats, when you come down and you come up, a lot of this activation here is all through the legs. So a way to understand where the activation of the glutes is when you come down and push up to about here is the activation of the glutes. The majority of the activation otherwise is in the legs, and the legs will take over in the whole movement if you're not actively aware how to activate your glutes. Now this is a cable pull through or a band pull through I'm going to do now. One of the things we're going to utilize here, and it makes it look a little bit funky, is that we're going to have bent legs to shorten the hamstring, and when we shorten the hamstring, that hamstring won't activate as much, therefore the isolation will go to the glutes. It's basically the same setup as the deadlift here that we had set up on the pole, and also if you're doing it in the gym on the cable. Again, I don't have a gym, so I do all these at home and I utilize a band. You're going to step over the band or cable, you're going to grab good strength or a good weight, and you're going to bend your legs. From this bent position, you're going to pull through but keep your bent legs the whole time. So it's leaning back and pulling through, leaning back and pulling through, squeezing the glutes, posterior pelvis tilt, and activating through weight in the heels, keeping the legs bent to keeping short so the hamstrings aren't switched on as much, not as much contraction, they're shorter in length. And you do 16 to 20 reps, your core is going to be involved, everything's going to be working. It's going to change the activation in your glute ability to understand it, and it's going to help you grow and isolate those glutes that you're looking for strength. One of the reasons why I work my glutes so much is actually part of the key component of our core, the core set, is partly the glutes. And without that glute activation and awareness, a lot of the yoga transitioning movements and calisthenic movements is not possible because of the glutes pull your legs into the hip sockets. Your hip sockets are then attached also to your core. So when, for example, you're doing a handstand, for your legs to go back and up, your hips must go back, but your legs must be connected into the core to go up. And if they're not, and the glutes aren't attaching and strengthening that hold and into the core, then it's not going to be as possible. It's all going to come from the chest strength. So just understanding how to really work our body in unison and awareness, and everything is interrelated, creates movements such as handstands, which only seem like they could be shoulders or a core movement, for example, but they also involve the legs and the glutes. So I hope you enjoyed. So do 16 to 20 reps 3 times and have fun with it. If you like this, make sure you give a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel right below, let me know what you want to see, what you want to learn and grow, and I would be happy to try and help in any way. Namaste.